What if I told you there's a free open source AI bot that can execute tasks for you? I'm not talking about just chatting with an AI. I mean an AI that can actually do the work for you step by step. Stay with me because in the next few minutes, you're going to see exactly how to set this up and start automating real workflows. By the end of this video, you'll know how to install this bot called Minimax, configure it correctly, define tasks, chain actions together, and run it like your very own AI employee. Minimax is different from the typical AI tools you've probably seen. It doesn't just generate text or answer questions. It follows a specific list of instructions and performs actions based on the rules you set. Think of it less like a chatbot and more like a robot for your digital tasks. Now, here is a critical point. A lot of people who try this for the first time quit almost immediately because they make one small setup mistake that breaks everything. We're going to avoid that. First things first, you need to have Python installed on your system. If you don't, a quick search for how to install Python will get you sorted. Once that's ready, open your terminal or command prompt. The first command you'll run is to clone the Minimax repository from GitHub. This downloads the code to your computer. Then you will navigate into that newly created folder and install all the required dependencies using a simple pip command. This whole process just prepares the environment so Minimax can run correctly. Before you run anything, we need to open the configuration file. This is the most important step, and it's where the performance of the entire system is decided. If you get this file wrong, Minimax will either be incredibly slow or fail to run at all. Inside this config file, the first thing you need to set are your model provider and your API keys. You can use models from providers like OpenAI or even use local models running on your own computer for zero cost. We'll get to the local models a little later, so stick around for that. Now for the fun part where the real power of Minimax comes to life, defining a task. Minimax works by reading structured task files. These files are basically a to-do list that tells the AI exactly what to do, step by step. Let's create a simple task to see how it works. For example, let's say we want to summarize a long document and then generate presentation slides from that summary. That's two distinct steps, but we can get Minimax to do it all in one single execution. But wait, before we run the task, there's a crucial addition we need to make, an output schema. This is the secret to getting reliable and predictable results. A schema forces Minimax to produce its output in a very specific, structured format. It prevents the AI from hallucinating or giving you messy, unusable text. For our presentation task, the schema might define a structure like a list of slide titles and their corresponding bullet points. This keeps the AI constrained and focused on giving you exactly what you asked for. Okay, with the task and schema defined, let's run it from the terminal. You simply point Minimax to your task file and watch it go to work. It will read your document, execute the summarization step, and then use that summary to create the slides, just as we instructed. Now, if you run into errors about missing tools or steps, don't panic. This is a common issue. It usually just means your task file needs clearer, more explicit step definitions. The more precise your instructions, the better Minimax performs. Ready for the setting that changes everything? Go back into the config file and enable a feature called Adaptive Replay. This is a game changer. It allows Minimax to learn from its previous mistakes and automatically improve its outputs over time. Think of it as built-in self-correction. With Adaptive Replay enabled, you can start building much more complex, multi-step workflows. For instance, you could create a task that scrapes data from a website, summarizes the important findings, and then drafts an email with those findings to your team all in one seamless chain. You don't need to write any extra code for this. Just define the clear steps in your task file, and Minimax will execute them in order. Remember, earlier when I mentioned running this for free, now's the time to switch to zero-cost models. Instead of using a paid API, you can connect Minimax to a local large language model like Llama, which runs directly on your computer. Once you have a local model set up, you just change the model provider in your config file, then test the same task again. Compare the speed and the quality of the results. You might be surprised at how well local models can perform, all without costing you a single cent in API charges. But what if you're working with very large documents, like a 200-page report? To improve accuracy for long inputs, you need to use a technique called chunking. This means breaking the large file into smaller, more manageable parts, usually with a little bit of overlap between them so the context isn't lost. This one technique dramatically improves the quality of summarization and analysis when you are handling massive amounts of text. So let's recap where we are. You've successfully set up Minimax, configured your models, created your first task with a schema, and learned how to improve accuracy with chunking. But we can take the automation even further. You can schedule Minimax to run tasks automatically using something called a cron job on Mac or Linux, or Task Scheduler on Windows. You could set a time trigger, for example, to run a task every morning at AM to generate a daily news summary or a market report without you ever having to touch your keyboard, and it gets even better. Minimax also supports integrations and extensions. This means you can have it automatically send its output to your email, post it to a Slack channel, or save files to a specific folder on your computer. This is what turns it from a simple AI tool into a complete end-to-end automation system for your repetitive digital work. Imagine feeding it a folder of research papers and having it automatically generate summaries, create slides for each one, and then email them to you, all on its own. The real advantage of Minimax isn't just its intelligence. It's the execution. It reliably follows instructions and completes tasks. Most AI tools stop at giving you answers or generating text. Minimax goes further and actually performs the actions for you. Once you get the hang of chaining tasks together and using schemas to control the output, you can automate entire workflows that used to take you hours of manual effort. You now have the complete roadmap. You know how to install it, how to configure it properly, how to define tasks and prevent common errors, how to improve its accuracy, how to switch to free local models, and even how to schedule full automation. My advice is to start small. Pick one simple, repetitive task and try to automate it. Once you see it work for the first time, you'll start to realize just how much of your daily digital work can be handed off to your own personal AI employee. Thanks for watching. I hope this guide helps you unlock the power of real AI automation. If you found this useful, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more content like this. Let me know in the comments what task you're going to automate first. See you in the next one.